Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are here with Yasmine Shihata. She is the founder and CEO, editor of Enigma magazine. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
I have so much respect for what you have done. You are truly a pioneer. You are one of the few women, Middle Eastern women, who have created an international business for yourself.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, but it's something actually I got inspired to do in the US. My first job, I was Anna Wintour's assistant in New York at Vogue. Yeah. Wow. I did that for 11 months. And
what was that like?
Well, because I did it really, I was a new graduate. I graduated from university young at 20, and I had a very sheltered upbringing, like Arab style upbringing. So it was a shock to sort of be in the corporate fashion world, but business, but not just that. I decided to go to Egypt, where I'm Egyptian, but I never lived there. I grew up in the States and Vienna, Austria. But I had like these romantic visions, like memories of Egypt when I used to visit. And I was like, I'm just going to go do my own magazine in Egypt. Little did I know that at that time there wasn't really a lifestyle industry, a magazine industry in Egypt. So not only did I have to create my own magazine, I had to create an industry. We had to pitch like the benefits of having a lifestyle magazine and advertising in a lifestyle magazine. So, but that's the beauty, I think, of starting a business young, is you don't know what you're in for. You know, when you get older, you calculate the risks and you're like, should I do this? Should I not? Exactly. Should I leave my successful job or do this? But when you start young, you have nothing to lose. And when I started, like, entrepreneurship, at least in our part of the world, wasn't like a buzzword. Nobody was like encouraging you to do it. And I didn't think I was an entrepreneur. I just was like, I like this magazine world. I want to do my own. It was like a very naive decision, you know. I didn't think of myself as an entrepreneur, you know.
But how did the world embrace you as being an entrepreneur and a woman building your own business?
Well, I think what I faced, the biggest challenge in the Middle East is, unlike America, where like being young and successful, like youth is really appreciated. In the Middle East, it's all about respect for the elderly. And, you know, I was raised abroad, so I was kind of like a westernized, you know, I had that going against me. My Arabic at that time was pretty broken. So, and I was, you know, looked at as a kid, like everybody was like, you know, when I'd go to a meeting, they're like, you're the editor, you're the, you know,
yes,
like, where's your boss? You know, like, you know, and I was like, no, it's me. So I faced a lot of that. And obviously, the Middle East is more of a patriarchal society. So I didn't know that because I grew up in the West, and my dad always made me feel like I could do anything. So it was the first time I was faced with, you know, situations of feeling like, okay, I'm a woman, and so I'm going to be treated differently, you know. And I know women to different degrees face that around the world. And what I think is great in America is what the Me Too movement coming out, because we all have our different experiences of it, even wherever we live, you know, except we don't talk about it. And the Me Too movement at least allowed American women to talk about it and made us feel that we can now start talking about, you know, about it.
So what does the magazine represent to you?
To me, what it represents, because I grew up abroad, and it represents showing the best of the Middle East. You know, what I face and what we all face now, especially in this day and age, is people have such a different view of our region, you know. There's so many misconceptions about our region and who we are and what we believe in. And I really want to show the modern side of the Middle East that a lot of people around the world don't get to see. You know, we're much more progressive than people understand. We're much more open-minded. We have so much more in common. Like, people try to divide us and make it seem like East and West, or like we're different. For me, it's very important. Like, my deputy CEO is veiled. She's the most open-minded, liberal. She's more liberal than I am, you know. She's a rock star. She travels around the world, and I love when Americans meet her, because it breaks down every judgment they have about a veiled woman, that she's somehow oppressed or you know, doing this because she has to. No, her family is not veiled.
She's lucky she doesn't have to do her hair every day.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a choice. The rest of her family isn't veiled. A lot of women make it as a personal choice, and I respect that. And, you know, America is a place where everybody should respect that. Like, you guys taught us freedom and tolerance. And I hope that's something that continues in America, because we hear a lot of mixed messages coming out of America now. And so now I feel the event we do in the US has become more important, because at a time where there is the kind of us versus them mentality, we want to show how much we are all the same, you know, and how much we all have in common.
And you did it so elegantly. I had the opportunity to be at her event in the Beverly Hills Montage a couple nights ago, and it was so glamorous, but so welcoming and warm, and everybody was really just celebrating life and culture, and you really truly have created that in this community. Thank you.
We're trying. We're trying. It's a challenge, but we keep trying.
I mean, to be a woman from there doing what you're doing, you're way, I mean, it's very, very, you know, just courageous. So we want to honor you for sure. And it's so important. I think that there's one mind, there's one race. We're all connected. And it is amazing how much people are alike when you go to different areas. We get, you know, there's stigmas that people show, but it's not the case. So thank you so much for showcasing.
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
you know.
And because a lot of Americans, you know, a question I get a lot is like, is it safe to go to the Middle East? It is safe, but until people come to us, we'll come to you. We'll bring you our culture. We'll show you the best of our culture, and hopefully encourage more travel and connection, because that's really, I think, what's going to bring the world together.
We appreciate that so much. I've got a quick question. What did your experience at Vogue teach you about starting and sort of building a magazine?
Oh my God. Well, I think it was like a crash course, not just in magazine world, but in life, you know, because it's a very competitive business, and despite what people think, I mean, I have a lot of respect for Anna Wintour. She's tough but fair. But it's more, the difficult part is not really her. It's the environment of everybody is very competitive and cutthroat. And there is some insecurity about it, where it's like somebody has to come down for me to go up. And what I realized is to do that job well, it's not the kind of the education you have, it's the experience in office politics and managing office politics. And that only comes, and I unfortunately didn't have that yet, you know. I had a very good education and all that, but I didn't have the skills of managing
Well, you're not
drama.
alone there. Yeah, I would say that, I would say that most young people don't get that experience. That's part of what sort of a college education is supposed to be for, and even, you know, the first job is often really about just learning those soft skills so that you can manage people better, or work with people better, or communicate more effectively. You do that exceptionally well, particularly through the magazine.
What I always tell people is, it is a great job, but it's not it shouldn't be your first job. And you know how Anna has 2 assistants? They put me in the senior one. I should have been at least in the junior one, you know what I mean? You know, because both positions were free, and the woman who got the junior one, I went to like London School of Economics. I had supposedly a good degree, but she went to secretary school. But she outshined me because she was like typing really fast. She took shorthand really good. I was like, okay, I don't know how to do this really well. So you know, it just shows you like different skills, and she kind of knew how to, because she wasn't the senior, she didn't have to take a lot of the heat that I had, you know. So it's all about really learning your environment. But even if you learn the hard way, you learn fast, you know, that's the benefit. So,
Absolutely.
So I don't regret it. It was a great experience, and I'm really happy I did it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, tell people where they can find your magazine.
Okay, well, we're actually a print magazine in the Middle East. We're on newsstands, but we're also available online. It's www.enigma-mag.com.
Nice.
Thank you, Yasmine, for being here and being
Thank
such a
you guys.
light.
Such a
We really
pleasure to meet
appreciate
you
it.
all.
Stay
Thank
tuned.
you.
We'll be back with more Good Morning La La Land.